Good afternoon and welcome to the City of Coos Bay's work session for the Parks Commission. We are going to call it to order. We'll start with roll call. We'll start down at the end. Rex?
Jared Schmidt.
Carmen Matthews.
Patrick Bringardner.
Ariane Lyons.
Kirk Benward.
Jamie Faraday.
Greg Hamblett.
Christina Teixeira.
Christine Sylvester.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We will come right back to public comment, I promise. But first, we would like to present an award, and we would like to present the 2026 Standout Heritage Volunteer Award.
The Oregon Heritage Program, administered through the Oregon Parks and Recreation Department, recognizes individuals across the state who demonstrate exceptional commitment to preserving and promoting Oregon's historic and cultural resources. Colleen Coco Sutton exemplifies the spirit of the Oregon Heritage Standout Volunteer Recognition, which honors individuals whose dedication, leadership, and service significantly advances local heritage efforts. In 2026, Colleen Coco Sutton was selected for this recognition based on her outstanding volunteer contributions to historic preservation efforts in the city of Coos Bay. Coco Sutton has been a driving force in the preservation, activation, and long-term stewardship of Coos Bay's historic and community resources. Her work reflects a deep commitment not only to protecting the past, but to ensure these assets remain relative and active and supported by the community. Most notably, Coco led the effort to gather required documentation and complete the application for the Mingus Park Community Building Scout Cabin being listed on the National Register of Historic Places. This effort required extensive research, coordination, persistence, and including compiling historical records, documenting architectural significance, and navigating the federal nomination process. As a result of her leadership, the building, constructed in 1939-1940 through the Works Progression Administration, was officially listed on the National Register in 2025. The structure is recognized as a rare and well-preserved example of WPA era rustic architecture and holds significance in the area of recreation, community development, and architecture. In addition to her work on historic designation, Coco demonstrated exceptional initiative in expanding community engagement and support for parks and heritage resources. She spearheaded the development of an Adopt a Park pilot program designed to foster volunteer stewardship and strengthen the community.
Yeah. Okay.
How do I make sound? How do I make the sound?
Stop it. Stop sharing.
Rosemary volunteered 8 years of service, moving forward. Coco Sutton with the City of Coos Bay. Coco transformed preservation in Coos Bay through volunteer leadership, advocacy, and personal investment. She was instrumental in getting the Mingus Park Community Building listed on the National Register of Historic Places, leading to preservation opportunities, and launched the Adopt-A-Park pilot program, expanding community stewardship and long-term protection of local heritage assets. Judy Wolfer-Aus.
Thank you.
Please join me in thanking Coco Sutton.
You're amazing, Coco.
Yes, you
Awesome. Treat yourself.
are. Safe travels, Coco. Thank you.
Studies on studies on studies from admirers to citizen admirers. We present you here.
Thank you, Coco.
Thank you, Coco.
Coco made me do it.
Thank you. All right.
I have to say that my first day on this commission, Coco was sitting over there next to where Rex is, and I knew she was a force to be reckoned with. And I talked to her right after that meeting because there was some things going on that I didn't understand, and I thought, that's somebody to ask. And it's been that way since.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed. I would like to share that when she joined the Parks Commission, I knew that we gained a huge asset for this community and this particular commission. She shared so much knowledge and had so much background experience that I often was left reeling with trying to just catch up. And so I just really want to sing my praises for Coco and how much she's done for this community, and her heart has always been in the right place, and just very grateful to all the work she's done.
Yeah, and I was just going to say, we're all pretty good about talking about things, but Coco was always somebody who got the work done. You know, she spent the time and the effort, and she's just amazing.
Yep, well said.
Thank you so much, everyone, today, and sharing great thoughts on Coco. And let's keep her in our thoughts and send in positive energy her way as she travels to Arizona. So,
Sounds
thank
good.
you.
Will do.
Right, now we will jump back up to public comment. Do we have any public comment? Okay. Moving on down to work session item 3B, the LGGPGACPD 346. Over to you, Greg.
Yes, thank you for the introduction. That was great. So the Migas Park Playground, so equipment in the big kids area, is nearing the end of its useful life. Staff have completed numerous repairs over the past several years, and replacement parts are becoming increasingly difficult to obtain. Staff is proposing to remove and replace this playground equipment with an inclusive playground structure that meets ADA accessible requirements. Staff is proposing a playground that goes beyond traditional wheelchair accessible ramps and instead incorporates inclusive play features that allow children of all abilities to play together in a meaningful and engaging way. These elements provide a variety of sensory and physical experiences to support a more universal, accessible play environment. The goal is to create an accessible pathway to all play components, maximizing usability for all children, including those with most significant accessibility needs. Attached, you will find a proposal from Miracle Play System. The proposed upgrades will include a total of 31 play activities, 12 at-ground play activities, and 19 at elevated play levels. The budget for this playground equipment is $313,000. In the attachment, we got a quote from them that does include freight and installation. The LGGP, which is a grant that we're going after to fund this playground equipment, does require a 40% match. Will be funded by the Parks Capital is what we're proposing, Fund 37. Staff can reduce its allocation funds via in-kind labor. Staff is also looking for additional grants to offset the match dollars. The reason we're bringing this today is because we have a time constraint on going after this grant if it's something that we want to go for. The reason that staff is proposing to put it in Mingus is because we've done a lot of hard work in Mingus Park. Some folks may ask, well, why are we not spending more time in John Toppet's Park? I agree with that. We can, we should. But we've made a lot of headway in Mingus Park. We've made this whole southern section of Mingus Park, brought it up to above standards with the new restroom, the rewilding, the new pathways in the area. We've done some drainage work in the playground, but the playground itself, the playground equipment itself is lacking. We've heard several commentaries from citizens here in this commission meeting, or presented to this commission, saying, hey, we need to update the playground equipment. And so that's why staff is proposing there. In the future, we'd like to spend some more time in John Toppet's Park and upgrade that area. But right now, we do have a good backwind at our back with Mingus Park. We're making progress, and that's why we're suggesting this. And so with that, there is a pamphlet in here of what renderings of what the possible play equipment can look like. It is a mixture of a rubberized surface and some engineered fall protection there for the kiddos to play in, but we do have accessibility to the playground equipment for kiddos with some mobility issues or maybe concerns that they may have or something like that. So anyways, right now what we're asking, if it pleases the commission, come to a consensus to allow staff to pursue the LGP grant for the Mingus Park Playground rehabilitation.
Couple comments. One, I think the pricing is actually pretty reasonable based on a lot of the other playground structures that I've been seeing quotes for lately. So I know that looks like a big price tag for a lot of people. I actually think that's a pretty reasonable number. Two, I'm assuming that we're going to continue to work on some drainage issues, particularly with the solid surface fall protection.
Yeah, with that, all of that area down there will basically be gutted out, regraded, and then reset. And so, yeah, we will definitely work on that.
Okay, great. And then the third question is, how many swings will we still have in that area? Because that seems to be a large commentary item, is making sure that we're maintaining enough actual swings.
So based off of the rendering, and I can go into more detail at a later date, this is just a rendering of a particular play area. I believe it looks like there's 3 in this proposal from Miracle Play Systems, and we do have the other play, the little kid area. And we can always expand in the future, but with this particular play set, it looks like maybe 3 in this particular playground equipment.
I think that would just be my only comment, is if there's an ability to get in one more swing, just because that seems to be a high-use item with kids. And so that would be my only comment. All the other play equipment looks very engaging, very educational, but also very fun at the same time, and way less splinters than the stuff we played on as kids. So, any other commissioner comments or questions?
I had, when I mentioned it to Greg a little bit, is that I know we're going to work really hard to get other money to help pay for that 40%, as well as the staff doing in-kind. But worst case scenario, that's about $125,000. And the construction budget for next year on the proposed budget is $366,000. And so it takes a big chunk of it. And so my only concern is, do we have any other projects that we can foresee in this next fiscal year that are going to require those kind of capital construction funds that might be restricted because of the money we may need to pay for the matching?
Yeah, right now, this playground equipment was, for the parks, was the main construction for the year on, in our parks. Was we wanted to go after playground equipment this year. We did a lot over the last year and a half, 2 years in the parks. Couple that with the defensible space work that we've done over in John Toppet's Park, and then the other trail work that we've done in John Toppet's Park, plus the additional work that we've done in Mingus. So we want to just keep that going, but I think our main focus over the next fiscal year was playground equipment. That was what we prioritized to city management, was we'd like to improve our playground equipment.
Okay, because it only leaves us about $240,000 for construction projects in the budget for the next fiscal year. And I mean, no one has foresight, so I have no idea what's going to come up. But the Parks Commission's budget's pretty restricted, anyways. I think the children's playground equipment is a yes, and I certainly would support it and say it's what we ought to do. I just wanted to mention my concern. Particularly because when I looked at the proposed budget for the Parks Department this next year, it's pretty slim. The funds from the general fund that are transferred in was reduced by about 25% from the previous year. So there's not a lot of wiggle room.
And that's also a reminder that at 6 o'clock tonight is the budget meeting in this very room. Unfortunately, we have to sit on that side. But if you would like to be at a budget meeting, it is at 6 tonight. Other commissioner comments? Jerry?
I was just going to say, I think the inclusive aspect is really fantastic. I'm looking at the ramp with children that have, physical needs, that'll be great. But I'm also thinking grandparents, helping them up this ramp to take selfies with the kiddos. I think this is great. So that's just my thought.
Yeah, our goal, again, was to make this inclusive, accessible, and making sure that every child of every need had accessibility to play.
Cool.
My wife is an occupational therapist. She has been for 13 years. She's a pediatric occupational therapist, and so her job basically is play all day long. Kids don't realize they're working, the magic of play. But when kids are engaged and they can feel like they're part of it, then they're much more inclined to be active. And so I think this is a good opportunity. Kurt, you're not wrong. That message is not lost on staff. We will continue to look for grants. There's a lot of grants out there that support this type of equipment and this type of mission, if you will, of getting accessibility for kiddos at play. So we're going to continue to search for those. I think we'll be successful. But you're absolutely right. There's the possibility that we won't get anything else and we still have to fund this. That's something that we
Yeah, and there weren't any transferred in funds from the capital improvement fund either, where the previous year there were. So I know it's tight for everybody. I get that. I think it's a great idea, though, and it's a great plan. One question that has nothing at all to do with the money part is, knowing the footprint that we have down there right now for the playground equipment, is this scheme that was presented to us going to fit in there, or are we going to have to do some moving things around?
No, this playground equipment as provided in the, look on page 2 or 3, not sure if you're looking looking at the entire thing, but there is a layout, and that is based off of, I gave them a GIS, I gave them a GIS rendering of the park with the, at scale. So they had the dimensions of that playground area, so this will all fit within the footprint of the existing area now. So we don't have to expand anything, we just need to get in there and clean it up some, and we're gonna make it a lot more presentable. We probably will end up raising it up, again, just to help with the drainage. But, yeah, it was gonna stay within that footprint.
And what happens to the old playground equipment that gets pulled out? Does it get recycled, reused?
It'll probably just be recycled. It won't be reused. It's pretty much at the end of its useful life. I don't think that it would be appropriate to give to anybody beyond what we are going to use it for. Not saying that it's dangerous or in bad shape, but it's not going to have a life beyond where we're using it. So I think the best thing to do with that is just either put it off to the side, get rid of it, and just let it go by the wayside. I don't see much value in it for another city. We could definitely throw it on the auction block and see if anybody wants to buy it, which is we've been pretty successful with putting things on the auction and seeing where it goes from there.
And since we're working with a planner, I think in the gazebo that's at the kind of the end where the red bridge is, there's a lot of unintended use there, and it's a protected area, so that was just, I think it might be a good spot to have some kind of play feature. I don't know how much it would add to the budget, but it's protected, so it would be a place where kids could go when it was raining. Of course, the concrete might not be the best, but maybe something could be put over top of that concrete, something softer like a rubber mat. But all that there is there now is just a picnic table, and it kind of gets a lot of unintended picnic table use.
You're talking about the gazebo just south of the pool?
Yeah.
South and to the west of the pool?
Yeah.
Between the pool and the Mingus Bridge?
Yeah, so it's a
The
beautiful
Chelsea Bridge, I'm
spot. The
sorry.
gazebo's great. It protects that area from the rain, and it could be put a little climbing feature in that would not be conducive to camping and just,
Well,
sitting around.
Yeah, I think that's, so that might be a good spot maybe for some senior activity, exercise equipment. or something
Exercise
like that.
equipment, yeah.
I think the idea is to keep the children playing in one area so mom and dad can sit there and watch both sides. If they have younger children and older children. I think separating the two from an operational standpoint and maybe from a parent standpoint, I don't know. If that would be a big benefit, but I think that might be a good place maybe in the future for some senior exercise equipment or something like that.
And it does, the gazebo does get pretty good use during the summer for birthday parties and things
Oh,
like
really?
that. But it would be nice to encourage more of that use. Yeah.
It does, and Jamie just mentioned to me, and I agree, there's a soft spot kind of wet down around in there too, so it may need a little bit of extra work to make it a playground thing. Plus, if I'm a parent and I have children's equipment and I have kids, I probably want to be close to the restrooms, to tell you the truth. So, and it would be a good, safe place for them, so.
Then I think it's a great opportunity to add an educational piece or an older exercise equipment for doing laps or things like that. Something that creates more use in that space. I
Yeah,
think that's a good idea.
agreed. Yeah, that's a nice little spot. It just needs
It's wind protected.
a little bit, might be a little bit more
Which is why
focus.
it's desirable.
Maybe a new roof.
Segue.
I'll throw my 2 cents in on this playground. I really like the inclusivity of all of this. This is great. I am wondering if this is did you guys look at a bunch of different playground equipment suppliers for this, or is this just an example, or is this what we're going for?
Yeah, we looked at like 4 or 5 different suppliers. Miracle Play System, they are specifically designed for inclusivity, and we're talking about sensory needs, we're talking about, mobility needs, we're talking about, inclusion. That's kind of their forte. I did look at a couple other different companies. They do have it, but their ground level play equipment versus their above ground play equipment were not as robust. And then, but we did look at them, and so we could definitely do some more pricing and definitely do some more research. But this is I think this is one that we would kind of like to base our grant application off of.
Gotcha.
This is the best one that we've been able to identify that has the total package and provides installation and the equipment.
Yeah.
We looked at another one that had some components, but they were not as they didn't have as many components. It wasn't
Gotcha.
as inclusive
Gotcha.
as Miracle Play Systems.
And-
They had smaller ramps, but they did have ramps. It wasn't quite, what we were looking for. They had some components that would work for children that may be wheelchair bound, but these folks had more components that for children that were wheelchair bound, some ground level play activities. So that's the reason why we looked at that.
Yeah, that makes
So-
sense.
And correct me if I'm wrong, they're a Pacific Northwest company, so they understand our weather conditions that are not typical to the rest of the U.S. Okay. Yeah.
That's good.
That's one thing when we look at play structures for some of the other projects I'm on. We try to locate them as close to the site as possible. One, they understand our weather conditions better, and two, shipping is one of the largest expenses
Yeah.
on these component pieces. So a lot of these play structure companies come out of the East Coast that you see the booklets for, but there is a number of them that come out of the Pacific Northwest. And this one.
Yeah. I guess I love this. I think that this works really, really well. I have been looking at different playground equipment in the past that was a little bit more like natural materials, like just natural play structures, logs and rocks and those kinds of like things, and thought that might be kind of an interesting aspect to maybe add. Maybe that's down the line. Maybe that's something we ask for as a Parks Foundation once that gets off the ground at some point, where we can get some donations of, just expanding the park. But I think that this is a really good place to go as a focus. So I appreciate the inclusivity of all of this. This is nice.
And I think that lends itself well to, we could do a mix, 'cause this is traditional play structure. But once we get going with other funding sources, we can add those nature play component pieces to it,
Yeah.
to all of our parks, which would be really nice.
So you're into that idea?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I sent you that link like 4 years ago.
Oh, you sent me that link? Oh, gosh. Okay. Are you sure this was all right? Okay.
Jamie?
I had the same questions that Carmen had about kicking tires of other companies, and apparently that's been done. That's a good thing, and that you're looking for companies that can meet the ADA standards for all the components. Is that a must?
That's our goal.
Yeah.
Every component will not meet ADA standards, but the goal is to provide inclusivity to be able to include those kiddos that have those requirements.
Yeah.
I like that, especially the merry-go-round thing. You can
At ground level.
move in. Yeah,
Yeah,
that'd be great.
absolutely.
And I also had a question about more natural materials. I looked up different companies that had at least recycled plastics and recycled rubber and that sort of thing. And I don't know if this company, I didn't see it in there when I went to their website, if they had any of those types of materials, but that would be a thumbs up for me. And you said this is the possible playground apparatus that might be chosen.
Yeah, this is so I reached out to them, actually I reached out to a couple of them, sent them the area constraint that we have, told them what we were looking for, what we desired from a ADA, from a sensory, from an inclusivity and accessibility point of view, and said this is the area that we have to work what can fit in here, what can work. And they gave us this, and I'll be honest, I was very pleasantly surprised by this suggestion by their engineers on what can work in that area. And the amount of pieces that come with that.
Yeah.
We're 32 play components, I think, is impressive in that area.
Yeah, I thought we were going to get like one thing.
Yeah.
And it also got me thinking about input from users. Does this company, or do they get information from parents and kids that, yeah, this is something I go to every time, or is it something that's going to be ignored? I was just wondering if it's feasible to get input from users to say, yes, these components look like everyone looks like, or my kids would use those, or kids would say, yeah, I'd use any of these. But that seems like a reasonable thing to ask.
Sure, we can do that. I think it would just be more time consuming. And if that's the direction that we would like to go, then we could, I don't know how that would affect the grant and the timing of the grant. These folks have been in business for quite a bit. I think they are good at what they do. I think that they would probably sell things that they would probably are getting used. But we could definitely do that if that's the request or the direction by the commission to go and pull and get, is this a component that you guys would use? Is this a component that you guys think you would like? But I think that based off of their expertise and their experience, I think they provided a pretty good package.
Well, maybe just simply asking them. We had a question at our commission. What's your data showing that these are popular items?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that would be enough.
Greg, help me out with this too. What we're really talking about today is getting some kind of consensus from the commission about going forward to apply for this grant.
Correct.
Right. And help me out here. So let's assume because we're good people and they like us, we're going to get this grant to go ahead and do the playground equipment. Is the process after that, are you going to have to go back out and solicit bids from a number of different companies? Because, I mean, all the stuff we're talking about, is this the right amount of equipment and what does it look like and should it be rock or natural or recycled? I mean, when we get this grant, I'm going to say we get this grant, do we have to go back out then and make a proposal for people to come in and bid on it?
Yes, typically that's the way that would work. One question that I failed to ask this company is if they're a source well or on a cooperative purchasing agreement. If they are, then we would not have to go out for a bid. They've already vetted that through their purchasing agreement or their cooperative purchasing agreement. But if they are not, then we would go out to bid. And then we would explore their options. But that would come after we got the grant, and then there would be obviously a time frame from the life of the grant that we would have to get it installed.
Yeah, and so if they aren't, then other companies could actually bid for the project. Is that right?
That is correct.
Yeah, and so it's kind of like I'm seeing you as this. You searched around and thought this is the best one, and it was a good way to make the proposal for the grant. It was a good plan to show the grant people, hey, this is what we can do with this amount of money that will improve our park.
This is what we would like to do.
Yeah.
Yes, correct.
So, since it's not written in stone exactly what we're going to get, if this is actually going to be the company, I'm at the point of not worrying too much about that and just saying, let's go for the grant.
So I'm hearing a consensus from everyone by nodding their heads and going, that we are moving forward with the grant for the playground equipment, since that does align with our goals for this year. Okay. All right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. So I just want to recap. So from the commission, the possibility of adding another swing set as a component. And then also asking this manufacturer what are the popularity of each component, as far as have they asked users whether this component is usable, or is it just there as, we sold it to you.
Ask him that question, if it would mean we wouldn't have to go out for bids, too.
Yeah, I definitely will ask that question.
Yeah. Probably don't need another swing set if we just make a rope swing off that giant tree on the corner there.
Yeah, because that's
Yeah.
totally legal. I don't know
think
where
we-
this rope came from.
Yeah. You know, okay, so on the back side of the playground there, there's the natural slope that comes down.
Up off of 12th?
Yeah, or 11th.
11th, I'm sorry, yeah.
Comes down off of 11th, and yeah, it's zip line. Is that what you're thinking?
Zip line across to the pool, right over the lake.
Yeah, there you go. I don't know. Is that slope there for a purpose in that way, or it seems like it would be nice to have some stairs there. There's a large portion of the. I live in that area, and there's a lot of people that walk down that slope.
Pull off of 11th. Right there by the playground equipment.
Yeah, right behind it, and it's real slick.
Yeah.
Is it
No,
is it sloped because we're getting equipment up there? Are we driving like lawnmowers up and down that thing, or is it just we never have built the infrastructure to build like little
Never
stairs?
built any infrastructure there. I think the reason it is sloped that way is just based topography.
Okay.
Everybody knows that Mingus used to be part of a slough.
Yeah.
And that was probably just where the
Yeah.
natural edge of the slough was at. And then when they filled it, it just was put in like that, and then they built a road up on top, so now it's probably just supporting the road. So yeah, I don't think that there's any purpose to the hillside other than just that.
Well, I'm talking about specifically like the access point off that hillside. So there's there's sidewalk ends, and then it goes a little bit, and then it switches back, and it goes down this like gradual slope and into the parking or into the playground area, and it just looks like it's ripe for some cut-in stairs at some point, unless we're driving some kind of lawn equipment up there.
I can find out.
But if it wasn't for access for equipment, then I feel like maybe throwing some stairs in there at some point, some rudimentary stairs,
Yeah, I'm trying to picture where you're talking about in my head, and I'm having a real hard time.
Yeah, if
picturing it.
if you're looking at the playground, it's
Can we bring some pictures of it next week? Or we'll go look at it and
Yeah.
we can discuss it further. I think that's good.
we'll have
But I
our
like-
meeting, and then
Yeah, what I'll do is I'll just print out a GIS. I'll go out and take some pictures of that area, and
We can talk about it further.
yeah.
Although I'm liking the idea of the zip lining across the pond.
Or-
I'm thinking as a fundraiser for the foundation, we can have Mingus Park's X Games.
There you go. What could go wrong?
Yeah, what could go
What
wrong?
could possibly go wrong?
We could build a nice giant slip and slide right
I'm
there.
thinking a lot of waivers right now.
I like this.
This is why the attorney's not invited to our meetings.
Zip line idea.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, thank you, everybody, for your very thoughtful comments. I think it's an important piece, and the natural progression of Mingus. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we'll roll down to Commissioner and staff closing comments. We'll start down at the end. Rex? All right, yeah, sounds good. Sharon?
The Mingus Park rewilding interpretive panel has been installed, so I want to send kudos to Alexa and the Coos Watershed Association for all their hard work and working with the tribes, and without even having to be asked, they came to the tribes as good partners. And kudos to your team, Greg, for installing it. It looks fantastic, and it was just a real treat to see the community work together in a collaborative way to do something really cool. So go check it out and learn something.
Awesome. That's really exciting.
Carmen?
I don't have any comments. I know
Waiting
I'm
for
crazy.
your-
Yeah. So I've on 3 different instances, I've seen cars inside of the kind of the new paved section in front of the bathrooms. One person that parks there regularly in the evenings is the guy who's cleaning the bathrooms, but he parks his personal car in there. So I think that is misleading for people that are driving by and thinking, oh, I could park there tomorrow. and then otherwise I've seen people pulling out, and they don't look like they're affiliated with the park at all, and definitely not the person that's cleaning the bathroom. So I think we might need, so it's a nice big area.
It is.
Looks like a parking lot now.
It
And
does.
the way to get in there, that little ramp, is as big as the spot for the ball field. And so I think we need some kind of big sign to just,
Taller or something.
yeah, or like put a rock.
Aren't we getting him a golf cart?
Yeah, the fire department received a grant for a side-by-side that we're going to be using and housing right next to the Mingus Park Community Building. We already got the building up there. We're just waiting for the side-by-side. So yeah, the camp host will be using that. He's gone. He was here. But yeah, we'll reach out to him and ask him not to. I think right now he's just using it because that's where his supplies are at, because he doesn't have any other means of transportation from the scout cabin all the way down to there. But we can ask him to, kind of be mindful of it.
Maybe a removable bollard.
That's right.
Or
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I mean. Park across the street and carry his supplies over. So we've looked at the bollard piece, the removable bollard. We are in and out of there every day, multiple times a day with our trucks. We've talked about this. How do we just narrow it even so that people understand that it's not a driveway? So yeah, Patrick, I feel your pain, but we'll definitely look into that some more detail, because I don't want anybody driving in there. But we have to make it user-friendly for our staff as well. So we'll try to come up with a solution and
even if we
get
paint
that
no
implemented.
vehicles on the ground for now or something.
Yeah.
I just worry someone pulling in there, and no one's going to be expecting a truck to come in
nobody
there. So
does.
no one's looking and no one's paying any attention, and kids are running wild and so forth until they get to that crosswalk. So it would just be
Yeah,
tragic if a
you're in
car
a park.
just swings in there,
Yeah.
hits someone.
What about a design element of some sort, some kind of like nice entryway arch that designates the entryway into the park, that would delineate road from park area, and it's like, oh, I'm not going to drive through this archway, but you theoretically could drive one of our park vehicles through there, but it just doesn't look like a normal place to pull into. I don't know, just something simple.
Or even just a chain,
Yeah.
like a chain that could be removed.
Well, that would be, yeah, that might be more difficult for the park staff to get through, because they'd have to park on 10th, undo the chain and pull in. But, just something that kind of delineates this is a park. So it's, if it's like some kind of natural arch thing, this is Mingus Park, Choshi Gardens, it might add to the design element in the entryway. I don't know, it's just an idea, throw it out there. Spitballing.
Do you want to tell us how the bike to school went?
Oh, yeah, I should tell you about that. Yeah, bike to school event. So we had a bike to school event. I want to say thank you to Greg and your crew for helping sweep the route for us. Everything was looking really nice. We had our National Bike to School Day was on Wednesday, and we had some parks commissioners help us out and bike with us. So thank you, Patrick and Jamie. We had a bunch of kids and a bunch of volunteers, and we had a great bike bus all the way to Lighthouse School, 2 there in the morning from the Coos Bay Public Library, and then back as a return ride. And the police department was extremely helpful in kind of coordinating and blocking intersections for us, and the fire department was there as well, helping with logistics and, creating the excitement of the day. The kids always enjoy it, and I just really appreciate the town and all of the different departments pulling together to make that a special event for the kids, because it's really cool, and I think it highlights that biking is fun in our community, and hopefully we'll have more accessible infrastructure for these kids to do this on a regular basis in a safe manner. So that's a big part of what I'm shooting for.
Thank you. Craig?
Just to reiterate what a pleasure it was to work with Coco on this board, and that I learned an awful lot from her. So it was really nice to see her today. I want to thank Harv for all of his work on the Parks Commission board as well, since he's no longer with us. And I wish him a lot of success down in his new job in Bandon. And like always, I want to thank staff. You guys do a wonderful job. Like I said, we sit up here and talk about a lot of things, but you make them happen, and I appreciate it.
Thank you. Jamie?
The sign, the rewilding sign is great. It also shows where Mingus and Blossom used to be and the wetlands that extent. That's very cool. And yes, we had my neighbors on the bike trip, one of my neighbor's sons was on the trip, had a blowout, and as he said, my bike's going to jail. It went with the cops. But it was delivered to him at the library. That was cool. And a story about driving in Mingus. My wife Margie noticed somebody driving from the pool along the trail and out at that spot. You see them come in. Yeah, it's like, what?
Yeah.
Anyway,
Thank
you guys.
If it fits, it goes.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
that's-
That's
well,
all.
you just hope that nobody sees that. Greg, any closing comments?
Yeah, well, I just want to remind Kurt that Harv is still with us. He's just no longer with the commission. So thank you, Harv.
Sorry, Harv, I didn't mean to terminate you early.
So Harv, thank you very much. So appreciate your input over the last year. I think it's been about a year since you were on the commission. So thank you, and good luck in that future endeavor down there in Bandon. They're going to be really pleased to have you. So thank you. I'd also like to thank this commission. Coco was a big part of this commission. I think she came onto this commission like a lion, and she elevated this commission, and she rubbed off on all of you folks. She made this commission a better commission. I see the tenacity in each one of you when we're talking. I see the compassion and or the passion and the compassion that you folks bring each day to the Parks Commission twice a month. So thank you for your volunteerism again. We couldn't do it without you. Thank you for coming to the consensus tonight. We will work on these issues that were brought to us, and it is a pleasure for us to do the job that we do every day for our citizens. You guys do hold us to a high standard, and I think we hold ourselves to even a higher standard. So thank you very much for pushing us all the time. And with that, I've got nothing else to say other than Happy Mother's Day this coming weekend. I hope all the mothers out there understand that they are all loved.
Thank you.
I'm super grateful to the City and Park Commission to have the opportunity to work side by side with Coco, and it was an absolute honor to be able to nominate her for that award.
All right. Well, I appreciate everybody here. Harv, thank you so much for participating over the years.
Yes, thank
Big
you, Harv.
Shout out to Coco, who really brought back the energy and fire to the commission, and I know that energy and fire will carry on for a long time, so I appreciate that. Again, send positive energy and thoughts her way as she travels down south to get some treatment, and just keep her in your thoughts. Thank you so much for everybody and everything that you do, and we are adjourned.